10 of the most happy years of my life, 1960 to 1970, were when I was a missionary in the Middle East Division. The first 6 years, I was president of the Turkish mission of Seventh-day Adventists. And during that time, there was a man who loved to go sell Bibles from town to town. And on this occasion, he went up to the Black Sea coast city of Trabzon. He had a suitcase full of Bibles, and you know, the suitcase full of Bibles weighs a lot. So he would go down the street this way. But every now and then, he was invited into a house. He would sell a Bible. And in those days, a lot of Turkish men didn't have a purse or a billfold. They would have a loincloth. And they would stick their money down in here. But as he went about selling Bibles, he noticed there was a man following him every day, watching him. And he couldn't figure out what that man was doing it for. Finally, it was his last day. He sold the last of his Bibles. He put the money right in here. Then he headed to the railroad station to go from Trabzon back to Istanbul. And that man was still following him. So he walked very rapidly to the train car right behind the engine. And then he ran down through every one of those train cars until he got to the very last one where there were compartments. He opened the door to the compartment, went in, and sat down. A few moments later, the door opened, and there was the man that had been following him. And the man said, "I noticed you went up and down the streets of Trabzon. You were carrying a suitcase, and you would come out of a house and put your money right in here." The man that had been following him pulled a gun out of him, aimed it right at him, and said, "I want all the money out of your belt." Okay, so I want all the money out of your belt. So the man that sold Bibles slowly reached his hand toward his pouch. And at that time, the man said, "Hey, wait, do you have a gun in there?" And the man said, "Yes, I have a gun, and this gun will hit you right in the heart." And he opened the Bible and gave several Bible studies to that man. And when he was done, the robber said, "I am still going to rob you, but not of your money. I want the book." And the man that sold Bibles said, "You can't rob me of this book because I will give it to you." And so when the Bible studies were over, the train went many miles down from Trabzon on its way to Istanbul. And when the train stopped at a certain town, the robber got off. You'd like to know the rest of the story? That's what Paul Harvey used to say. If you want to know the rest of the story, you're going to have to go to heaven and hear it there. Happy Sabbath.